Hi there, I'm Dr. Sujay, Ambassador Sujay, and you're with Live with Sujay because we're all the way live and in living color coming to you from the East End. And it's my joy and delight to be part of LTV family, but also to have you as part of our family. Today, we are so excited to welcome here today Faye Coleman from Pure Genesis.
Thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
We're so glad to see you. You're a breath of sunshine here. You like Smokey Robinson. We got sunshine even though it's a cloudy day.
Oh, well, listen, we're trying.
All right, all right. Well, we're so happy to welcome you here. You're on the East End. You're coming to a conference because it's a very specific topic. And the topic is what?
It's cannabis.
Cannabis. And you're here because Pure Genesis is a cannabis company. Tell us what Pure Genesis is.
Absolutely. And so, again, thank you for having me. Pure Genesis, how can I say it? We're a minority women business enterprise, first of all. We got about 250 years of experience from corporate to cannabis.
Yes.
But with that, the most important thing for us is not only do we provide cannabis, but we're a community-first partner.
Yes, I love that. And you've been a partner with us for so many of the things that I've done. So you are a community-first partner. And your partner with your company is whom?
My partner is Priscilla Wynn. She's amazing. She's our Chief Information Officer, as I am the CEO. We hit the ground running in 2018, and we never looked back.
Wow. So I am so impressed because there's so many states that are like the number one states now in cannabis, but you have gotten into the market. Not only do you have a headquarters, but you're branching out. So tell us where you're based and tell us what the exciting thing that's getting ready to happen in a place called New Jersey.
Yes, so we are based out of Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and we have now just been awarded an annual license for our cannabis dispensary, and we will be located in Atlantic City.
I love it.
Right across from the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino.
Oh my goodness. And
Yes.
will there be a grand opening? Will be a ribbon cutting?
Yes, there will be. First quarter of next year, we will have our grand opening. There will be a ribbon cutting. You'll be invited.
I love it. I love it. So that'll be the first quarter of 2024 because we're not sure when this show airs, but it will definitely happen.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
that first cue, as they say.
Yes.
So how hard or difficult or easy was it to get a license?
That is, okay, so we don't have enough time for that, but I can tell you very shortly in 30 seconds or less, it was extremely challenging. This industry, like none other, I've come from corporate America, multi-billion-dollar portfolio, and you would think opening up one dispensary would be quite easy. But there are a lot of challenges in terms of, government regulations, in terms of capital, just making certain you've got the right team on board with the right skill set, and then understanding and navigating the landscape, the real estate requirements, the municipality approvals. It's a lot, but it's doable.
So we're going to talk about the team, having the right team, the right skill set. But the show is celebrating Black leaders, Black women leaders. How challenging as a Black woman leader was it to even enter that market?
Oh, extremely challenging because there's so few of us.
Okay.
Right? For the first time, I really understood that our voice was really muted. So, for us, it was about going in under our mission, which is education, access, and advocacy.
Okay.
And it's through that education that we were able to unmute not just our voice, but our vision as well as our value.
I love it. Vision and value. Wow, and you do it with integrity. So we can't leave that I out there. Vive. So Sheryl Sandberg used to write about leaning in.
Yes.
I used to talk about let us get in. And you're saying once we get in, we were muted even when we got into the table.
Yes, because it's all about agency. Right?
Talk about that a little bit.
Well, and just in terms of having the ability to come in and be that entrepreneur within the space. And really them shutting us out. And the fight is on, it is vigilant, and we're here for it.
Okay, I know you're up for it. You put your gloves on there, Muhammad Ali the second or third here.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the team. One of the things I was impressed with when I saw your PowerPoint, and you have such impressive PowerPoints, was the history of it. And I want to talk about slavery and hemp.
Yes.
As one of the first industries. But then I want to talk about what you built. How did you determine who was the team that you needed? Because you have medical advisors, you have an executive board. So you're not just going into it just kind of like happenstance. Yeah. So talk to us first about the history, about hemp and slavery, the connection there.
Absolutely. What most of us don't know is that when slaves first came over and came to Virginia, when they got off the boat, one of the first crops that they grew and harvested was hemp.
Mm.
And so much so, and it was so challenging to do, they used to call it the nigger crop. You know, I
Wow,
even
that
hate to
N
say that
word.
word out loud, you know,
Yes.
but it was that challenging.
And what states was this primarily?
Virginia. So they got it
Virginia.
done, start Virginia, and then migrated to Kentucky, and then came up north. But yes, that was the first thing. And it's interesting because over 50% of all prescriptions at one time were cannabis.
Oh my
We don't
goodness.
talk about that.
No, we don't. We don't. So what's the difference? Hemp, cannabis, CBD. Can you kind of give us the little nuances there?
Absolutely. So mainly it's all cannabis.
Okay.
Let's get to that. Let's get to the truth.
Okay.
It's all cannabis. But the government decided to regulate in terms of determining what would be constituted as defined as cannabis versus hemp. So anything less than 0.3% is considered hemp.
Okay.
And then you have hemp that could be either hemp for CBD or industrial hemp. So I categorize them in 3 easy ways. I call cannabis is the sexy product, because when people talk about cannabis, they think of it in that context. CBD is the now product, and it really is about anxiety, reduction of inflammation. And then industrial hemp, I call it the long game. That's the sleeper that we don't understand.
No,
That's
we
the
don't.
one that we're going to put into biofuel, industrial products like our foundation for our homes, particle board, you know, all those types of things, 50,000 uses. That's what we're missing out on.
Okay. So now, does your license allow you to deal with all of the above?
It does not. That's a great question. So we applied for a license to grow or to dispense cannabis, marijuana, greater than 0.3%.
Okay.
But we've also had a license to grow hemp. So we've grown hemp in 3 states, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and South Carolina.
Oh my goodness. I need to hang with you. So when somebody says they're getting a CBD massage,
yes,
what is that? What are they using in that oil or cream?
So they've got an oil that they're probably putting into some form of cream, and they're massaging it through the body. And as it's entering into the body, it's having those medicinal effects.
Okay.
And what people don't understand is cannabis is medicine.
Yeah.
It is medicine.
So interestingly enough, I saw a couple of videos about a man who had Parkinson's and how it helped. But you came into it because your mother was very ill.
I did.
And so talk to us about your genesis for Pure Genesis.
I love that.
Yeah, I had to try to ask good questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But I came into it as I was a child. I was very young. My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. I saw her lose about 70 pounds on a 5-foot frame. Her skin turned coal black. Her mental acuity greatly diminished through her chemo and radiation. Had she just been able to consume cannabis, she would have maintained her appetite and had a healthier recovery.
Okay. So it's the appetite issue.
It was the appetite issue. And then fast forward, you know, after a week after she passed, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
My goodness. So were you able to partake?
I didn't partake because I still was under the stigma and the lack of knowledge and education on what cannabis really was. So I had decided to begin that educational journey. I'm cancer-free now.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
But now we're here.
Wow. So now let's talk about, because you didn't just start dealing with it. You made sure you had the team that could answer the kind of questions I'm asking.
Yes.
Medical teams, advisory teams. Yes. Tell us about who comprises that big flow chart. What are the skill sets that were necessary to build the company you have?
Absolutely. And the skill sets are definitely necessary and not complex, but they need to be broad in the context of different and unique in terms of skill sets across the board. So, of course, I'm carefully curating my C-suite team. I'm bringing in leaders in HR, IT, operations, and the like. But then also I have medical advisors that are nationally renowned. I have White House execs that are on my team.
Wow.
I have filmmakers, research scientists.
Yes.
All to make certain that we bring the best products and that we have the best interest in terms of our community.
I love that. And what's the total number of, would you say employee pool or your team? What's the total number at this point?
I think we're at 22.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And you have me on your team. I don't have that skill set, but I can provide opportunities for you to talk about your product. So that's what I try to do.
Listen, I can say without fail, Dr. Sujay, that you have been amazing in being a bright light on our business. And just us as leaders within the business and Black women and really propping us up and edifying us. And we appreciate you.
And you're a member of the Global Black Women's Chamber of Commerce.
I am.
Of which this show is partially sponsored and where we've had so many shows. So I thank you also for your partnerships because we have to collaborate, connect,
That's right.
and go to places where we haven't been and you've been places we haven't been and vice versa. And together we can grow and really make them. So my mantra this year is make your move, make your mark, and make your money.
Amen.
The 3 M's. So every retreat we have is going to be the 3 M's because it's about time for us to make the moves. Now that we have the information and we're getting in the doors, then we must make our moves and make some real good moves that have legacy and impacts far beyond even us. So talk about, is it easy to bring others along because you're really just getting in yourself?
Well, we've been in since 2018.
Okay.
And, that's when I took a step out on faith and I flew to Colorado, went to a conference to see if this is something I could thrive in coming from corporate America.
Yes.
Or if I was going to see a bunch of stoners and I needed to run back to New Jersey and get to work and forget I ever thought about this.
Okay.
Came back pleasantly surprised. But you got to do your homework.
Yes.
You got to understand, is this industry for you? Make certain that you have knowledge around not just the industry, but the plant.
Yeah.
And then carefully curate the team. Make certain you know the state that you're in. Make certain you understand the regulations. And find some capital.
So will you mentor and will you coach folks who want to come into the business? Is that part of your business?
Absolutely.
Okay.
As our mission is education, access, and advocacy, that education piece is critical, especially for us, because we have
mission, advocacy.
Our mission is education, access, and advocacy.
I love it. All the A's. Okay. Yes.
And because we've got to make certain that we understand that we've been decimated by cannabis, right? And if not for Nixon's policies,
which were
the Controlled Substances Act of 1970, which really was to incarcerate us. And so that incarceration continued to today. And
that was even for like one joint?
Yes, absolutely. Half a joint.
Wow.
It wouldn't even have to be a whole, it could have been as they call it, the vernacular of a roach, something very small. But at the end of the day, our communities have been destroyed by something that is a medicinal plant.
Wow. So here on the East End, there are several businesses starting to crop up. So what states is it legal in now? And do we know which ones are not?
Well, cannabis is legal in cannabis, marijuana, or CBD is legal in 40 plus states.
Really?
We still have about 9 states, maybe 9 states that are not, mainly in the Midwest area, but they will sooner or later. The interesting part is $30 billion came through cannabis last year in this country.
I saw that number.
$30 billion, about $3 billion in tax revenue.
Oh my
so
goodness.
The major question is not where where cannabis is not, but in the states where it's at, ask the question, how are those tax revenue dollars being used? Yeah.
That's an important question. Wow. So, 30 billion.
30 billion.
With the B on there.
With the B on there.
Wow. So, are you licensed to sell just in your state?
Yes.
So, you have to get a license per state?
Per state.
Okay. Per state. Okay.
Per state.
All right. So, you could not come on the East End with your product. You would could you collaborate with someone?
That's a great question. So
I try to ask great questions.
You do ask great questions. So you could collaborate with someone, right? But they would have to have a license within the state, and you could collaborate and do business with them. So there could be a joint venture of some sort. Our goal is to have 5 licenses in 5 states by 2025, New York being one of those states. So we're super excited. We were just recently appointed to the Mayor's Policy Commission through Cannabis New York City.
Yeah, I've been trying to send you some emails as I see things. I try to forward them. I'm sure that you're on top of it.
I appreciate that.
But that's awesome.
We're going to be doing training. We're going to be educating in Brooklyn, the Bronx, and in Manhattan with our Now You Know workshop.
do people have to pay for that, or how do they sign up? How do they find you? How do they?
So it will be listed on the site, and it will be marketed. So
what is your site?
Each community. It'll be in New York.
Okay.
Right,
All right, whatever the site is that's going to be
Mm-hmm.
hosting the workshop.
Through Cannabis New York City, it will be hosting it, and they will have it on their site, and it will be marketed.
What's the process to get 5 licenses in 5 states?
The process is to get the first license.
Okay.
And get the first business open.
Yes.
And then after that, you understand the process, right? The dynamics, the logistics of it.
Got it.
And then you make sure that you secure your team in each of those states, but most important, you secure your capital.
Okay.
So that's important.
Okay. And how do you secure capital for a cannabis business? I like this alliteration here. The capital, connections, all that.
Quite a challenge to secure that capital for a cannabis business. But I can tell you what we've done is a lot. We've gone through a lot of pitches, and we eventually understood that we needed we coined it a VC broker, a venture capital broker, someone that could actually knew where the money is.
Yes.
And could match the money to the business.
Yes.
And then we started to narrow our path in terms of that direction, and that's what secured us being able to find that capital.
That's good. So you're not going all over the place. You narrow it. Just like when you're looking for a home, you try to narrow the neighborhood you like to the income.
Absolutely.
Right? So that makes a lot of sense in terms of that. Are younger millennials and Gen Zers trying to get into the business?
Everyone is trying to get into the business right now. And even if you're just looking to invest, we have over 60 investors, all African American.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So everyone, and they're as young as 22 up through probably 78 from the age gap in terms of investors that we have on board. So
that's
we're pretty
amazing.
excited.
So people are always interested in the return on investment. So each conversation and individual one based on what you've put in is what you can expect in terms of return.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And normally when you go to invest in a cannabis business, that business will normally have a min in terms of how you come in. So, be prepared for that. But make certain you understand what the return on investment is. Make sure you understand the exit strategy of that business.
Yes.
All those things, because you want to make sure there's a profit at the end of that.
Exactly. And also probably cash on hand as well.
Absolutely.
Right, so that they're surviving before and not depending on your dollars to survive. So let's talk about this a little bit. How important was the corporate experience and the experiences even before that leading up to understanding and working this business?
So many transferable skills from corporate America to this experience.
Okay.
A lot of times when we're sitting in front of potential investors, they ask us, what's our differentiator? What makes us unique? What makes us, where's our strength coming from? And we always share that, of course, most of our team is from retail. So
you know your stuff.
We know our stuff. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I said the differentiator, especially in cannabis is like the .com business. There have been a lot of failures because they put deal makers in place of operators.
Talk to us about that. Yes.
So, of course, I know that, he's got the money. So I'm going to give him that money. He's going to not run the business well, but I gave him the money because he could make the best deal. Right? So they overlooked the operator that needed to come in to run the business. So every time they ask us, I say, well, we operate in the black. That's our differentiator. So all these businesses that are running around here operating in the red, losing millions, multiple millions.
Yes.
I said, you got to start looking at making certain the leadership matches the requirements for the business.
That's an important statement. Say that one more time.
The leadership matches the requirements for the business.
And are they ever growing and changing because you're ever growing and changing?
The cannabis industry changes every day.
Okay.
And you got to be sharp enough to understand what those changes are, because one change can put you out of business.
Wow.
So you have to have clarity around that. So somebody's got to be minding the store in terms of that.
I once heard you say you prepare for growth, not for the right now.
Yes.
So your vision is for where you're going. Talk to us about that.
Yes. You spoke on the team and why the size of that team and the complexity of the team. It was that myself and my co-founder, for us to start up a business, I could start the business up myself, but I can't grow the business alone.
Yes.
You have to be prepared for that.
Yes.
You have to strategically envision that. You have to put the plans in place to make certain you're moving towards that and through that and realizing that. You can only do that through having the right team.
I love it. I love it. And what's important is, like in ministry, you know, not everybody is a senior pastor. Some people are the number 2 people and appreciate being there. Not everyone's going to be in front of the camera. And what I appreciate about your partnership is you know where your strengths are. You do what you do well. Priscilla does what she does well, and the other team members. And so not everybody has to be the out front face of everything. So that's what partnerships are really about.
Absolutely. And everybody doesn't want to be out front.
Right.
But they want to be clear on what their roles are. And that's their strength. We carefully curated every single person on our team because we understood what their strengths were, what they could bring to the team, and that they were excited about being a part because that passion has to be there.
That passion has to be there.
Absolutely.
So I always ask the question, A plus B plus C equals success. What's your A? What's your B plus your C? Success for Pure Genesis, and then I'm going to ask for your own life.
Oh, the A plus B plus equals C for Pure Genesis is a great team, capital, and grand opening day.
All right.
That equals success.
Yes. Ka-ching. Okay. For your personal life.
It's my faith, my family, and my focus.
Wow. Say that one more time. That's beautiful.
My faith.
My faith.
My family.
My family.
My focus.
My focus.
I can't do anything without my faith. I can only move forward with the support of my family. And I know with my focus, I'll make it happen.
I love that. I mean, we could close the show right there. That's powerful because focus is something people forget, and so they get distracted.
Yes.
They start out right, but they start looking to the left and to the right, and then they get they stay out of their lane.
Yes.
So you learned how to stay in your lane.
Absolutely. Have to. And especially in this business, it's easy to get distracted. You know, there are a lot of barriers. We hit our heads. We returned a $10 million check. From a bad actor. You talking about getting knocked off your focus. That can knock you off.
That can knock you off. You could have sent it over here and I would have kept focus on that, but that's okay. But that's integrity though. That's also integrity.
That's integrity.
Yeah, I'm not just going to take your money, but yeah.
That's right.
It's got to work properly in this culture and environment.
Absolutely.
I love that.
We're strong enough to manage through that.
Ooh, okay. So what do you do for play? What do you do when you need to exhale and you just return those $10 million checks? What do you do for fun?
What do we do for fun? We get together. We've got an organization that we're in. Of course, it's not my sorority, which, of course, if you haven't guessed, of course.
I just happen to have pink on today. I'm a Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and I'm just doing this interview today.
With the member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, but also I'm a member of an organization called Girlfriends.
Okay,
and, we do great things all the time. We have a lot of fun, and actually my co-founder, my partner, she's a member of Girlfriends as well. But we met in Jack and Jill.
Oh my gosh, and I'm a Jack and Jill mom.
You know? And so that circle of Black women, right? We all travel in those same circles, right?
Exactly.
And it's that circle of Black women that you have fun with, that inspire you, that motivate you, push you forward. And we do a myriad of things, but we love to travel.
I love it. And you go to this wonderful retreat called Selah by the Sea.
I love Selah by the Sea. And Selah was amazing this year.
Well, thank you. Well, you're a part of that. I mean, we sow seeds into each other. And, because I pray about who to invite. What's the formula in terms of bringing the presenters and also the people who will attend, and you've been a great part of that formula.
Oh, thank you very much. I can just tell you, I leave full every time, right? And it's just an amazing experience. It's a unique experience, and I just think many more should be a part of it. I don't know if it's for everyone, but I think it's for anyone who really wants to find their center.
That's a good point.
And experience that with others who are doing the same.
That's good. So Selah by the Sea is an upscale wellness, faith-based wellness retreat. We usually go to Florida. It's called Selah by the Sea, but we're making an integrity move this year because of what the governor said about Black people. We can't take Black dollars and then vacation and say, oh, it's okay, there's sun here.
That's right.
But we go away, and it's about 60 to 100 women who are faith-based, and it is upscale, but it's for women who want to find your center. And so we're part of Women on the World Stage, WOW, and you'll be hearing more about it for 24. But we're always the third week in June, June 17th to the 20th of June, that third week after Father's Day. And so you'll hear more about it, certainly, and you can always go to my website, which is Women on the World Stage, thewowfactor.live. And because we want you to have a wow experience. But you have been a wow guest, not wild, but wow. And you have been amazing just as a partner, as a sponsor, but just someone that we're excited about because we watch you walk your passion. And so we become excited about that. Many of us want to sow into what you're doing, however that means. Some have dollars, but others have other things that we can help you to do. So we want you to know that we'll be there for you, with you. And, for the generations, what's your legacy move? What do you hope that will be left for the next generation?
Well, for the next generation, our legacy is to make certain that we first educate everyone on this industry, on the plant, understand the medicinal benefits, teach everyone how to come into this business, be their own entrepreneurs, and have a part of that generational wealth that's waiting for them.
You've heard it best, generational wealth, and it's waiting for you. I'm ready to get mine right now, and I hope that you too. You've been inspired today by Faye Coleman, Pure Genesis LLC.
Yes.
And her partner is Priscilla Wynn, and you've been with us on Live with Sujay. Look for us. We're so glad to have you. And thank you to the LTV family, of course, and all my crew, producers, executive director. Until next time, this is Dr. Sujay. See you again.